Hey, 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 Fit Mama. Jen Oliver here, your host of the Fit Mama podcast. This is the work in to your workout.
Hey, and welcome to episode 30, the core connection to bouncing back after baby. This is the fitness or movement pillar of the FitMama Foundations, of which there are 7 pillars. This is the 7th we are going through this week. The last 6 episodes were the first 6 pillars, and this is number 7. So to recap, we went through food freedom as a fit mama. We went through the importance of sleep, hydration, meditation, journaling, sex and self-care last episode, and this time fitness or movement. And this is one of those really interesting pieces of the whole Fit Mama piece, because so many of us, and I've been told this so many times, that they're attracted to Fit Mama, the brand, because of the fitness component. They want to know what to do, how to do it, how much to do, how often to do it, how hard to go, when to go. And there's so many details that people come to me at Fit Mama for, and that's what I really want to address today. So specifically around fitness or movement, or whatever your perspective is on this exercise piece of your Fit Mama journey. The question I want to pose to you is, if some is good, more must be better, right? Maybe not. My mentality as an athlete was this. It was no pain, no gain. It was go hard or go home. It was one speed, which was full speed. And it really was, I could not train enough. When I was training for basketball, gymnastics, whatever it was, there was no shortage. I could always improve more. I could always push harder. I could always shoot because someone else was out there probably shooting. So I was very competitive. I was very much a push type of mentality. And it's interesting how this does not fit into the postpartum demographic at all. I know for me as a young athlete, it was that adrenaline rush that I craved. And I remember it as if it was yesterday when I was in high school, and my parents ended up moving away in my last year of high school. So I was in boarding school. And I remember I was being recruited to go to university and play basketball by a number of universities. And I needed to be healthy to be able to do this. I needed to not crack any limbs or break anything in the time that I was in high school and finished my basketball season getting recruited until I started the following fall. But tempting as it was to stay away from sports, which was what I was recommended other than training for basketball, I was also recruited in high school by the rugby coach, and she taught me a little bit about rugby, told me what was involved, and then she told me there was tackling in rugby. This was a yes. I so wanted to tackle. I had never done anything that was a tackle sport before. And I truly felt empowered by the possibility that I could tackle people down. I was always big and strong, tall and mighty, and I thought this was actually pretty fun. So I went after it. My mom forbade me to play, and I'll put forbade in quotes because she was 5 hours away, and she really couldn't control me anymore. I was 18, 19, actually 19 by this time. And it was one of those things that I was just someone who felt like I wanted to push my body physically and maybe push the rules when I could. Hilariously, by my fabulous stroke of luck, I ended up with a black eye the day before I was set to come home for Easter weekend, which was funny. And I had told her I wasn't playing because she forbade me. And I was like, oh yeah, for sure, I'm not playing. And yet I was. And then I was going to hide it until I had a black eye. So, I mean, I was no stranger to injuries, and I was no stranger to pushing the envelope physically as much as I could. I truly knew and felt that at the time that it was part and parcel of playing sports. I broke my wrist, I broke my collarbone, I jammed every finger, I sprained my ankles way too many times to count, and I just kept going back for more. I remember in university, I had some kind of foot issue called sesamoiditis. Have you ever even heard of this? It was something under the bones in my foot. It was really, really uncomfortable. And I had to walk around campus in my first or second year. I don't remember. I think it was my first year with a hockey puck tied to the underside of my shoe. And this was, quite humbling an experience, but also quite funny and quite innovative because it really did help. And I was able to heal the sesamoiditis. I was not as concerned with the injuries I had as how I was going to get back up and get back into it. And I never once with any of my injuries felt like I wasn't going to be able to go back full tilt again until I hurt my back postpartum. It was only after landing in the hospital twice in a week and the wake-up call that brings with 2 small babies at home, then with not being able to bend, clean, do laundry, wash my kids, load the dishes or unload, play on the floor, lift them in or out of their beds or cribs, it was hard. And all of this was taken away from me when I decided to hurt my back. And I say I decided to hurt my back because I really, truly believe I did decide it. And it was, if you've read my book, you will read the whole story. I won't go into it right here, but it was my own fault. I wanted to push through the pain that I was having in my back by finding a way to create support. So I got a support belt called an SI joint belt, which wraps around your hips and is apparently there to help support your SI joint. Well, I wrapped it around, pulled it way too tight, ended up pinching in the back of my SI area some nerves. And this led me to incredible excruciating pain where I fainted twice in a week. And it was really, really all around bad. This is the thing. Postpartum, our bodies are not the same as they were before. And tried as I might have, and I did everything in my will to say, no, I had a great pregnancy. I had a great birth. My body hasn't changed. It's just the same as before. I can go back to doing all the things I could and not giving myself the space and time to really rehab. Once you're postpartum, you're always postpartum. Postpartum, it's not just you anymore. We have these others to consider in addition to our partner and ourselves, our babies. And how we look in skinny jeans just isn't an important priority anymore when we can't bend or move. A quick break here from our podcast today to talk about one of our show sponsors, my program, the 21 Days to Love Your Body. I talk about this on some of the FitMama podcast episodes, but this is truly where the work into your workout begins. This 21-day program allows you to go through a new type of goal setting. Creating and signing a contract that feels good to you, that you can live by, something realistic. This allows you to break down over 3 weeks, identifying your motivations, your barriers, understanding how to listen to your body, accept where you're at, embrace your life, take responsibility for where you're at. This calls you to a higher place through visualization and planning, forming new beliefs and tapping into the power of gratitude and love. This allows you to nurture yourself and enjoy the process by celebrating you, lowering your stress, understanding your willpower, catching up with your support system that starts from within. Understanding the underneath what is going on in terms of what is affecting the behaviors you engage in all starts with this program. I encourage this, and this has helped so many fit mamas around the world. I know the mindfulness and the habits you're going to form over these 3 weeks, filling in this fillable PDF journal that you can print out and fill out or fill it out right on your computer. This is the missing link. I know you'll love it, and I know you're going to get a lot from it. Have a great day and enjoy. You can find it on lovefitmama.com or jenoliver.com. Creating injuries for ourselves by pushing too hard postpartum is absolutely going to take the wind out of your sails. Our bodies are meant to move. They crave to move. And we're actually doing a Move Everyday challenge this month in the FitMama Facebook group. So please click the link in the show notes to join us and let myself and other Fit Mamas help keep you accountable to moving. But what is the movement that your body needs, desires, and craves right now? And just because before you got pregnant, you were doing CrossFit or running marathons doesn't mean going back to that when you are 6 weeks postpartum. The changes that happened and went on in your abdomen and in your entire body are just too great. If you're breastfeeding, you still have a load of relaxin in your system, which will actually very much affect the integrity of your joints, bones, and entire system. This was one of the things that I will say allowed me to get the back injury that I did. And then when I stopped breastfeeding about 6 months later and everything kind of went back to, let's say, quote unquote, normal, my body was in sympathetic overdrive and clenching to keep me from creating more pain in my back. And it didn't allow me to heal in any way. So our hormone systems, our nervous systems, all these things are interconnected. And it's so important that we reevaluate what exercise, movement, or fitness is to us in the different phases of our lives that we are in. And many of us have felt that lethargic feeling of not being able to work out when we want to, or when we're sick and we feel like we can't take care of ourselves. We don't feel like ourselves. We don't feel right. We don't feel as good as we were before, or if we were stronger or whatever. But that's okay. It's a curve and you are somewhere along it. And it's important to note that there's a time and a place for being on a specific place on that curve. Our bodies love movement. And when we can honor them in such a way that makes them feel loved, nurtured, and cared for, they respond vibrantly well. Whereas what I did with my back was said, no, I don't care about you back, even though you're hurting. I want to get something that is going to go and support you because you can't support yourself. So go screw you. And I tried to get an external way to support myself. And that obviously did not work. It just ended in despair. And if you're trying to push too hard and go back to doing things that you were doing before, or go to new things that you've never done, and your body's not yet ready or rehabbed, you can be setting yourself up for a very, very hard time. Ask yourself how you feel after going for a long walk in nature or on the beach. How do you feel after going for a run in the forest or a hike, even a walk through your neighborhood? How do you feel when you accomplish a task like training for a half marathon or completing it, or that getting up that you want to do for your spin class in the morning and you wanted to go, so you went? That feeling of accomplishing a task doesn't need to be associated with the same behaviors as you were engaging in before. You can create that same magical feeling with new behaviors, new movements, new, different. Not never going back to the other, but new and different and evolving and potentially being stronger than you ever were before. Remember that feeling when you took care of yourself. Remember that feeling when you honored yourself and nurtured yourself. Let that feeling be your motivation and find a way to make it happen, even if you're not yet ready to go back to those high intensity exercises you may have been doing before. That magical feeling is what you want to remember and return to each day. That inspired feeling when you've taken care of your own needs. That grateful feeling you feel towards yourself when you take the time for you. When you create that space that you need and desire so much. Fitness in the Love Fit Mama way is more about nurturing the core of you, the physical core of your body and the core of who you are and where you're at right now. That deep connection with your core values and beliefs, that belief that you can rearrange when it used to say, hey, you're not worthy unless you fit in skinny jeans, now can be arranged to you are worthy regardless. And breathe. Breathe. Breathe, Fit Mama. Breathe. That breath is your connection to the deep inner core. And that repetition of exercises such as the inner size, the pearl pull-ups that I teach. This is the way to build that solid, deep connection from the mind to the body and reconnect with the deep inner core that is the foundation of who you are. For the first 2 years after I hurt myself, everything hurt. I mean, everything. Bending, walking, breathing, lying down, standing up, sitting, everything. I was frustrated beyond in despair with my physical circumstance, and I was stuck in a blame, shame cycle with myself. Once I started to really face these emotions of blame and shame and frustration, that I began trusting that I was going to heal. And this did not come from my own mind or my own heart. It truly came from an external source that at the time, my coach, Yana from the Pain Freedom Method, helped me realize that I was going to heal. And it came from facing these emotions of frustration, shame, and blame, of anger and resentment, of fatigue that I was feeling at the point where I didn't even feel like I could ask for help, but I could. I started to view exercise and fitness differently. I started to view my body differently because I started to realize that it was just sending me signals, that this pain that I said was so bad and I hated was actually just a messenger for me. What messages is your body wanting to send to you? Yana asked me questions like, how does this pain make you feel? What in your life is reflecting that resistance? Frustration? What in your life is causing you pain now? And what is the source of that pain? When did you first feel that pain? As a child? As a teen? Can you even remember? When did you first tell yourself these stories about pain? For me, it was when I hurt my back and I started saying, I can't do that because it hurts. I can't do this. It hurts too much. I can't. And still to this day, one of my biggest regrets is having been in Australia almost 3 years ago now. And this was in that window of time when I used to tell myself, I can't. And my sister and my sister-in-law both went surfing. And I sat on the beach wishing I was surfing, wallowing in my own pain, saying, I can't. It hurts. I can't. Yana and the work I did on my own self taught me that there was so much more at play than just the physical symptom of pain that I felt. It became a part of me. It became a story. It became my belief system that I hurt myself and I wasn't going to get better until I did. Until I decided to let that go and know in the heart of my heart that I could heal, that I would become stronger and able-bodied again to do anything I want. Slowing down, reconnecting, and breathing taught me that exercise wasn't always what it seemed. I created a new perspective on what exercise meant, and walking to me was my new exercise. Breathing was my new exercise. Feeling good from these behaviors was my new exercise. It didn't matter how many calories I burned or how much weight I was losing. It was all about how I felt day to day. Was I in more pain or was I in less pain? Was I realizing that I could forget the pain for moments and time periods where I was just me without the pain? Calming my nervous system through breathing and reconnecting to my core allowed me to feel less impatient, anxious, less resentful, and overall more at peace and calm. My workouts that I was trying to do were not leaving me feeling this way. I would feel worse. I would feel frustrated. I would feel in pain. And The more and more I worked out, the worse I felt. When I am talking to fit mamas, either in the FitMama Foundations Sisterhood or on social media, I am forever finding myself reminding them to slow down. This was my issue. I wanted to push through the pain and work out hard, where I didn't realize slowing down, rehabilitating, strengthening from the inside out truly was going to allow me to do whatever it was I wanted when the time came. Less is more, I say in my talks and in my presentations. Less is more, I'm telling my clients all the time. I'll say, don't rush back to exercise. Begin with the pearl pull-ups and progress to breathing with small movements. We're already lifting, walking, running, chasing, doing so much with our little ones at home. It's time to not add to the pressures of that by telling yourself you have to, need to, must go join the gym or go somewhere to push yourself even harder. When I used to be a personal trainer, I saw so many of my clients, all of my older female clients, who had or their doctor told them they needed a surgery for a prolapse, incontinence, or a back injury. I would venture to say almost every single one. And these were postpartum core dysfunctions. These were all stemming from that deep core dysfunction that happens through pregnancy and postpartum. And nobody taught them core rehab. Not me either. I did not know about this at the time. I didn't even realize this existed. Now I take time to run workshops as often as I can and spend my time online educating about this incredibly important topic of pelvic health and core rehab. See, what we need postpartum isn't more boot camp or weight loss strategies. It's creating a strength and function that begins with our pelvic floor and deep inner core. Once the rehab is complete, which could take up to 2 years after giving birth without complications, with concentrated effort and the help of a health professional, it's the time to go and step it up in the world of weight training, CrossFit, marathoning, or whatever. But it first must begin with the rehabilitation. When we are starting from within, that's where our baby started from. They started from the very deep inner core and grew and grew and grew. And this gives us an opportunity to go back and start with the deep inner core and rehabilitate it, then move outside and outside and outside to the superficial muscles of our body to then strengthen those pieces. When our kids are babies, they need us for comfort, holding, calming, relaxing, and bonding in that way. They don't need us to be running all around, rushing around them. Taking that first 6 to 12 months to slow down, avoid strenuous activity that increases the intra-abdominal pressure in your core that pregnancy and postpartum period will naturally bring. Things such as planks, crunches, and bearing down while lifting weights are going to create worse havoc on the deep inner core. I just want to take another quick second here to announce a second show sponsor for today. This sponsor is Muse, brain sensing technology. As I am always talking about on the FitMama podcast and online, taking the time to quiet your mind, create space and calm is essential to living a loving FitMama life. This is achieved through meditation, among other things. One of the tools I've discovered to make this even more of an achievable goal in your life is Muse. Muse is a headband that you wear, and the sensors actually sense your brainwave activity. I know. And then it gives you feedback as to whether you are in the calm zone or if your brain patterns are a bit stormy. Literally, it has storm sounds, then birds when your brain is calm. It's very fun. It's like training your brain by lifting weights or dancing to a routine. This creates the neural pathways to help boost your connection to calm all day, every day by training and knowing exactly how it feels. I don't think there's anything better. Real-time feedback for your brain training. It's worth it, and the data is out there to show it. Meditation improves lives, and it will improve yours. Start today with 15% off all your orders at Muse using the link in the show notes today. Excessive pounding on the pelvic floor like that from running and jumping will give you an injury. Even if it's not today or tomorrow or next week, later in life, it will come back to rear its ugly head. I wrote a piece for a collaborative book called Your Pelvic Floor, The Inside Story. I got to write a little article in here, which actually was a poem. Spoiler alert, if you read this book, I wrote a poem all about the core. Oh, the core. It is a bore, no more. Take care of your pelvic floor. And I teach you a lot about this in Fit Mama because this is where it all began. It's where it all begins. It's where it all ends. Feeling the feelings and the musculature of your deep inner core and pelvic floor is absolutely important. And the mind-body connection is so big when it comes to the core. And I've worked with so many clients who, just like myself, had to learn the hard way that they weren't, in fact, invincible, and that nurturing and care didn't have to come along with the negativity that comes with injury. The negativity that starts in our mind when we ask questions like, will I ever lose this weight? Will I ever look not pregnant again? What if I never fit into my clothes again? Why can't I just be that mom who bounces back? And on our minds ask these questions over and over and over. One of the most beautiful things you can do for yourself, Fit Mama, is to get out of your head and into your heart. From your heart, your world fills with gratitude and appreciation, being grateful for your beautiful and perfectly imperfectly perfect body. Appreciate just being alive, breathing the air, hear the birds chirping outside, smell the beautiful smells of food cooking when you're cooking. Look around you, look at the car you're driving, the shoes you're wearing. Hey, you have clean underwear for every day this week. Look at the things you do have in your life and appreciate them. Say thank you out loud for those things. One of the authors I love and recommend her book, Women, Food, and God, in the back of the Love Fit Mama Way. In case you aren't aware or haven't noticed in your copy of the book, there is a massively long reading list suggestions that I recommend. She is on it. Her name is Janine Roth, and she is a true inspiration. One of the things I love that she points out is notice what isn't wrong. I'm going to repeat that. Notice what isn't wrong. We spend so much time focusing on the things that aren't working, what's wrong in our life, what should be this way, could be that way, if only this. What about things that aren't going wrong? Hey, I don't have a headache. I don't have the flu today. I don't have a broken leg. I don't live near a forest fire right now. My parents are alive and well. My kids are happy and healthy. I may have piles of laundry, but that means we have clothes to wear. Whatever it is for you, Fit Mama, feel the gratitude. Feel your body. Breathe deeply and then move. Take a Pilates class. Reconnect with your deep inner core and strengthen from the inside out. Building that solid foundation will allow you to get to the next levels of your workouts, but it only comes after the work in. The 28-day Fit Blitz I created and the Fit Hit, the body strengthening full body workout programs that I created, these are all contingent on the fact that you have rehabilitated your core, that you're not peeing when you work out or jump. I don't have to tell you that this popular mom joke about peeing your pants is so common it's considered to be a normal part of being a mom. I'm here to tell you it isn't, and you don't have to live with it. As I'm always recommending, go see a pelvic floor physiotherapist before you do any exercise. They will do an internal exam on your pelvic floor and actually be able to tell you where you have trigger points. Do you have tightness? Do you have laxity? Is it too tight? That is often the case, that we have been doing too many Kegels and things are actually tightened and dysfunctional down there because of that. Understand what it will feel like to feel rehabbed. And that's through the help of your practitioner, your pelvic floor physio, maybe your Pilates and core teacher, whoever can help you that knows what they're talking about. Understand what the signs and symptoms are that you aren't yet rehabbed. Understand when you're doing a leg raise, whether you're connected to your core or you're not. This will be the difference of an injury now or later in your life. I want to share a fascinating study with you that has been done and replicated on many different populations. I will take for the example the study of athletes, specifically skiers. So skiers were studied. They had electrodes put on their brain and on their muscles, and they were tested. 2 scenarios. 1, while they were skiing down a hill, following their path that they were following, or the second group weren't skiing. They were in fact sitting at a table, not moving at all, and they were tested in their muscles and their brain activity as well for while they were skiing. The only thing is that the sitting group was not in fact skiing. They were merely visualizing themselves going down the hill according to their plan. So one group actually skis, one group visualizes skiing, imagines skiing, doesn't actually ski. The results of this: the non-skiing group, the people who were in fact not moving a single muscle, had over 30% of the same activity going on in their brain and body as the ones who were moving. Over 30%. That's a third without even moving. Crazy, right? Our brains and our bodies do not know the difference between real and imagined. They don't. They know whatever it is that your mind is telling it, that's what they know. So these skiers who fed their mind the fact that they were skiing down a hill through their imagination, their bodies responded up to 1/3 of the amount that a person who actually was skiing down a hill, which is incredible. So I share this example with you to show you that before you even have to go out of your house, leave your house, or even work out, you can visualize in your mind's eye your gym routine. You can imagine yourself lifting weights in your mind's eye and build up the strength, stamina, and endurance 30% of the way there. Amazing, right? Going through the motions in your imagination, you create those neural pathways and the musculature needed. Unbelievable. I can't believe that. It's so unbelievable and it's so incredible and it so speaks to the mind and body connection. So set some time aside today that even if you can't go to the gym or leave the house because of your kids, you can make the time to imagine yourself doing so. It all starts in our mind's eye first. Visualize yourself walking into the gym, lifting each weight and each repetition. Do it in real time, but don't move your body. You just have to imagine it. This will still turn on the anticipatory muscles of the pelvic floor. You will actually feel like you're doing the work. The deep inner core, most especially, will notice it. This smells to me like a no excuses plan. How about you, Fit Mama? Trust me, things will look different. And if you yourself have an injury or you're in the point of being 1 to 2 years postpartum and you're still rehabilitating, or even after that, you can rehabilitate anytime. I had a client who was 76 years old and we were rehabilitating her from the inside out. It is never too late. Incontinence and pelvic floor dysfunction is a very popular reason to be admitted to a nursing home. Our kids do not want to deal with that. So let's deal with it ourselves so they don't have to. Restriction, pushing, demanding, living in guilt about missed gym visits, these don't belong in the healthy fitness movement, let alone the postpartum mom fitness movement. Trust that building the foundation of your body is worth the painstakingly boring, potentially, work of slowing down, breathing more, and connecting deeper within. Facing the emotions that get pent up in our bodies and lead to injuries, these emotions that come with that can perpetuate the pain and the memory of that pain. So face those. Whether they lead to injury or a result of injury, our emotions play a role. I kept telling myself I was broken, I was injured, I was dumb. Why did I do this? I was incapable now. I couldn't move. Everything hurt. And that kept me stuck for way too long. I choose now, instead of what I can do, focus on what I can, not can't do. Like the movement challenge we have going on. Every day I can move, I can walk, I can run, I can do Tracy Anderson workouts, I can do the Fit Hit now, I can do everything again because I told myself I can, and I was able to heal and strengthen from the inside out. I found the answer, and here it is for you too. I will leave you with the next steps for you and these 3 ABCs of this pillar. If this is resonating with you, Fit Mama, and you're realizing that calming the nervous system, getting proper sleep and hydration, slowing down to meditate, journal, have more self-care and sex with your partner is feeling good for you, then this is the time to apply to the FitMama Foundations program, which starts very soon. Click the link in the show notes and join a sisterhood of like-minded Fit Mamas all on the path that you're on. Just apply. There is no harm in applying. I want to hear from you. Here are the ABCs of this movement pillar of the FitMama Foundations. A, awareness. How does this make me feel? How does exercising make me feel? How does forcing myself to exercise make me feel? How does telling myself I'm lazy make me feel? Do I hate this? Does it hurt? Am I forcing myself? What can I do to feel better? Creating this awareness and asking these questions begins you on the journey to getting what you truly want. B, breathing. How can I take time in my everyday to breathe? What habit can I pair it with so I don't forget? How can I get better at the Pearl pull-ups? How can I take time every day to repeat the things I want to do? Breathe. Create space. Creating time in your schedule to breathe is the key. And the last one, C, core. Can I feel myself reconnecting? Can I feel the muscles of my deep core? Can I feel my pelvic floor? Do I know what that feels like? Can I feel my TVA? What does that feel like? Can I feel if my breath is going east to west or if I'm belly breathing out of my belly? Do I know what doing it right feels like? Do I feel strong and solid? Am I peeing or leaking when I'm not on the toilet? Does it feel heavy down there? Is having sex painful? Does something feel wrong? Core. Feel your deep inner core. Ask yourself the top questions and wait for the answers. That ABC right there that I told you, awareness, breathing, and core, in fact, doesn't even include movement, just the inner size of connecting the work in to your workout. And though movement is a very important part of our life and we're required to do it each day, what part of it can you make more fun? What part of it can you look forward to? What part of it can you integrate into your life with more ease and flow? Ease into it, Fit Mama, and know that burning calories and running around at full speed are not the answers to getting a flat belly, the body you want, or the life you love. But starting from within is. I have a guided breathing meditation that I created just for you. If you're so focused on the outside things like food and fitness, and you're wanting to reconnect within with what's really going on, to listen within and lose weight, I created this resource that you can find at lovefitmama.com/listen within, or click the link in the show notes. That's it for me today. That's episode 30, the core connection to bouncing back after baby. Take your time, Fit Mama. Don't rush into it. Take some big, deep breaths and remember the ABCs of this pillar. Have a great day, Fit Mama. Sending you love. Namaste.